Hello my dear friends. So friends, we are dealing with the wonderful concept of place of supply. In that already we are done with section 10, section 11 and section 12 also good number of points are done. Especially we are done with 12.1 to 12.9. We still do have some more points to talk in section 12. We'll complete that and quickly move forward to section 13 also. Are we all ready my dear friends? Fantastic, brilliant. So without any delay, let's move forward and complete this concept of place of supply. Of course, we can't complete in this session, but we'll do some good number of points in this particular session. Are we ready my dear friends? Good. So let's once quickly recall and revise once, then we'll start off. Tell me guys, sir, I'm looking at IGST Act, not at CGST Act. I'm telling the point again, I'm looking at IGST Act, not at CGST Act, because section number and the concept is different in IGST and CGST. Now when I talk about IGST Act, can you please tell me what is section 7 my dear friends? Section 7 deals with the concept of interstate supply. Section 8, intrastate supply. Section 9, supplies in territorial waters. Where in section 9 I told you that in case where location of supplier or place of supply is in territorial waters, then it is deemed to be in the coastal state or UT. It is deemed to be where sir? Coastal state or UT, where the nearest point of appropriate baseline is located. This point I clearly told you, dealt by section 9 of IGST Act. And when do we call a supply as intrastate supply and interstate supply? Predominantly, prima facie, the point is that if the location of supplier and the place of supply both are in same state, we call it as intrastate supply. And if the location of supplier and place of supply are in different state, we call it as interstate supply. And of course, some extra thing I taught you that in case where there is a supply to SEZ, supply to a unit in SEZ, then definitely we call it as interstate supply. And one more special point I told you was supply of goods to a tourist. Now who is a tourist? Tourist means any person who is not normally resident in India but who has come to India for a stay of not more than 6 months. Who has come to India for a stay of not more than 6 months for legitimate non-immigrant purpose. Legitimate means legal. Non-immigrant means he is not shifting. So whenever we supply goods to a tourist, we should treat it as interstate supply and charge IGST. And the logic of that point also I told you that this tourist, when he is taking the goods out of India, he will go to that GST refund counter and take the refund of that IGST paid. That special point is there in the law, dealt by section 15 of IGST Act, where I told you the title of the section is refund of IGST paid by tourist. Refund of what sir? Refund of IGST paid by tourist on goods taken out of India. Refund of IGST paid by tourist on goods taken out of India. Very brilliant point my dear friends. Come on then. What is section 10 my dear friends? Section 10 deals with place of supply in case of goods. And as I told you, 10 is divided into 10.1 and 10.2. And 10.2 clearly says one point, if the place of supply cannot be determined under section 10.1, 10.2 says if the place of supply cannot be determined under section 10.1, then it is determined in such manner as may be prescribed. Come on friends, what did 10.2 say? 10.2 says if the place of supply cannot be determined under section 10.1, then it is determined in such manner as may be prescribed. So far nothing is prescribed, but they kept this point in the law so that tomorrow if there is a dispute arising and they are unable to resolve the dispute by applying 10.1, then government will use the power of 10.2 and they will prescribe how to determine place of supply. Then friends, come on. 10.1, already we learned that in 10.1 we have got 10.1a, 10.1b, 10.1c, 10.1d, and of course we also have 10.1e my dear friends. Come on, can you please tell me what is 10.1a sir? 10.1a talks about place of supply in case where there is movement of goods. Place of supply in case where there is movement of goods. What is the answer my dear friends? Place of supply will be the place where movement of goods terminates. Movement of goods what sir? Terminates. Terminates means what? Stops. Place of supply will be the place where movement of goods terminates for delivery to the recipient. And 10.1b talks about one interesting concept called build to ship to model. And build to ship to model basically means goods are supplied by supplier to the recipient Goods are supplied by supplier to the recipient on the instructions of a third person. Goods are supplied by supplier to the recipient on the instructions of the third person. In that case, what law told is that place of supply will be principal place of business of such third person. Come on friends, what is place of supply? Place of supply will be principal place of business of such third person. That interesting point we learnt in 10.1b, sir. Then what is 10.1c, my dear friends? 10.1c talks about place of supply in case where there is no movement of goods. And what is the answer for that? Location of goods at the time of delivery to the recipient. Location of goods at the time of delivery to the recipient. 10.1d talks about place of supply in case where goods are assembled or installed at site. And the place of supply will be place of such installation or assembly. Place of such what, sir? Installation of assembly. And last one, my dear friends, 10.1e. 10.1e talks about place of supply for goods supplied on board a conveyance. Come on friends, what does 10.1e talk about? 10.1e talk about place of supply for goods supplied on board a conveyance, where law clearly told place of supply will be the place where goods are taken on board. And already I gave good number of examples for this. Then friends, what is the answer for 11a? 11a talks about imports, 11b talks about exports. And for imports, place of supply will be location of importer, and exports, place of supply will be location outside India. And when I say location outside India, meaning of that is wherever they are exported. That's it. Pretty simple point. Clear, right? So these are the interesting points about 10, 11, whatever we discussed, my dear friends. And of course, we already started discussion about section 12 also, my dear friends, which related to services. And in that we have got some 14 points there, and already some 9 points are done. Balance points we'll talk now and close with this 12. And 13 also will start. Come on. Tell me guys, what is the answer for 12.1? 12.1 clearly says provisions of section 12 will apply only if location of supplier and location of recipient both are in India. One more time I repeat, sir. Provisions of section 12 will apply only if location of supplier and location of recipient both are in India. Then 12.2 talks about general rule, which clearly says that if recipient is a registered person, then place of supply will be location of such person. But if recipient is unregistered person, then if address on record exists, then place of supply is location of recipient. And if address on record does not exist, then place of supply is location of supplier. That's all. Then what is the answer for 12.3, my dear friends? 12.3 talks about place of supply in relation to immovable property. Place of supply in relation to what's a immovable property. And law clearly told place of supply will be the place where property is located or intended to be located. And one special point they put in the law is that if property is located outside India, then place of supply will be location of recipient. Already we have done this. And of course, my dear friends, one extra point we learnt in 12.3 was in case where immovable property is located in more than one state, then place of supply will be each of the respective state in proportion to the value determined in the contract or agreement. And in the absence of contract or agreement, provisions of Rule 4 of IGST rules will apply, which clearly says that, what it says, come on, Rule 4 clearly says that in case where we are talking about place of supply in relation to accommodation service in a hotel or guest house, then they told a portion on the basis of number of nights. But any other service in immovable property or accommodation in contiguous state, that means in between two states the property is located, then divide based on area of the immovable property. And finally, last thing we learned there was in relation to last point, houseboat or vessel, then the apportionment basis is time spent in that boat or vessel as declared by the service provider. He should only tell how much time the boat is in which state. Then what is 12.4, my dear friends? Come on. 12.4 talks about place of supply in relation to restaurant and catering services, personal grooming, fitness, beauty treatment, health services including cosmetic and plastic surgery. So friends, what are all covered there? Restaurant and catering, personal grooming, fitness, beauty treatment, health services including cosmetic and plastic surgery. And for all these points, place of supply is the place where services are actually performed. Then 12.5 talks about training and performance appraisal, where law clearly told if the recipient is a registered person, place of supply is location of such person. But if recipient is an unregistered person, then place of supply will be the place where services are actually performed. Then 12.6 talks about place of supply in relation to service by way of admission to an event or an amusement park or any other place. Place of supply is the place where amusement park or such event is held, place where event is held, or place where such park is located. And 12.7 extremely important, and already we discussed so many questions on this point. And 12.7 talks about place of supply in relation to organizing an event, where law clearly told if recipient is a registered person, place of supply is the location of such person. But if recipient is an unregistered person, place of supply is the place where event is actually held. And if event is held outside India, event is held where, my dear friends? Outside India, then place of supply will be location of recipient. And an extra thing we learned there along with 12.7 is the rule 5, which clearly says that if event is held in more than one state, then we'll apply what, my dear friends? We'll apportion on the basis of value determined in the contract or agreement. And if there is no contract or agreement, we'll apply rule 5, and rule 5 says apportion on the basis of GAAP, and GAAP stands for generally accepted accounting principles. Come on friends, what does GAAP stands for? Generally accepted accounting principles. Then 12.8 talks about service by way of transportation of what, my dear friends? Goods. Where I told you that if receiver is a registered person, location of such person. But if receiver is unregistered person, then the place where goods are handed over for their transportation. Place where goods are handed over for their transportation. And by any chance, if the goods are destined outside India, if the goods are destined outside India, then place of supply will be the place of destination of such goods. Place of supply is what, sir? Place of destination of such goods. Very interesting point. Then, come on friends, what is 12.9? 12.9 talks about service by way of transportation of what, sir? Passengers. Where it says receiver is registered person, location of such person, and if receiver is unregistered person, then the place where passenger embarks on the conveyance. If receiver is registered person, location of such person. But if receiver is unregistered person, then the place where passenger embarks on the conveyance for continuous journey. Correct, right? Come on friends, place where passenger embarks on the conveyance for continuous journey. But if right to passage is given for future use, something like a coupon or voucher, then we will not apply 12.9. Law told very clearly, apply provisions of 12.2 general rule. That's it. So friends, all these interesting subsections we already completed, and of course I have given some tremendous examples to make you guys perfect in all these points. And please don't think, sir, every class, starting of the class only you keep on revising. What, sir? So much of revision you are doing. Sir, I believe something a lot. That is, unless you practice and revise, you will not become perfect. Practice only makes man perfect, woman also perfect. Don't worry. Ultimately, it's important that you practice, revise, recall n number of times. Only then your brain will retain that. Sir, God has given us very limited brain, and that limited brain we will use in very limited manner. Correct, right? So when we are using so much in limited manner and we have plethora of things to learn, then I can't take a chance. So definitely I will revise so many times so as to make sure that every point I tell will directly go and sit in your brain. And no question of compromise whatsoever. At any cost, I want complete perfection to come without any second thought, without any compromise, so that we are completely mastered with the subject and we will be done. Clear? Wonderful. This is a story of 12.1 to 12.9. Then, my dear friends, let me talk about section 12.10, sir. And 12.10 talks about place of supply in case of services on board a conveyance. Services what, my dear friends? On board a conveyance. So already we learnt about what is the answer for place of supply for goods supplied on board a conveyance. And for that already we learnt in 10.1e, which clearly says for goods supplied on board a conveyance, place of supply is the place where goods are taken on board. But I'm not talking about goods on board a conveyance, I'm talking about service on board a conveyance. For example, friends, let's say Shiva TEJA is traveling from Hyderabad to Dubai. Now in the course of journey, what is happening is that in the course of journey, before my seat there is a small screen in which I can watch some movies. So I called the person and asked, sir, I want to watch a movie. They told, yes sir, you can happily watch, but you have to pay 500 rupees to watch this movie. We'll give you earphones. You can just plug that earphones to that window and keep on enjoying the movie and enjoying the music, but we'll charge you 500. I told, okay, I'm bored. The flight journey is for 4.5 hours. I cannot sit like this idle. So I thought, okay, let me pay 500 rupees. And I paid 500 and started watching movie. Now what did I take from them? I've basically taken service on board a conveyance. Watching movie is not a good. It is basically a service on board a conveyance. Now what is the answer for place of supply for service on board a conveyance? That's what we are talking, my dear friends. Come on, please listen. Now what law told very clearly is that, listen, so let's say there is a flight which is traveling from Visakhapatnam to Hyderabad to Mumbai to Goa. One flight which is moving from where, sir? What is the journey of the flight? The journey of the flight is basically from Visakhapatnam to Hyderabad to Mumbai to Goa. Now straight point is that Visakhapatnam is where, my dear friends? Andhra Pradesh. Hyderabad is where? Telangana state. Mumbai is where? Maharashtra. Of course, Goa is Goa only because I wrote state name there. Clear, right? So now, the interesting point is that Mr. X boarded the flight at Hyderabad. Mr. X boarded the flight where, my dear friends? Mr. X boarded the flight at Hyderabad for journey from Hyderabad to Goa. Come on friends, what is the line I wrote, sir? Mr. X, what Mr. X has done, my dear friends? Mr. X has boarded the flight. Mr. X has boarded the flight at Hyderabad for the journey from Hyderabad to Goa. He is basically going from Hyderabad to Goa. Now, when flight was in Mumbai, when flight was in what, my dear friends? Mumbai. Sir, this flight is basically started from Visakhapatnam. I repeat one more time. Flight basically started from Visakhapatnam and the flight is going from Visakhapatnam to Hyderabad and then from Hyderabad to Mumbai and then from Mumbai to Goa. It is basically stops, one after the stop. Correct, my dear friends? Like that flight should be there. We technically call it as connecting flights. Correct? Now, X boarded the flight where? He boarded the flight at Hyderabad and he is performing the journey of Hyderabad to Goa. And when the flight was in Mumbai, Mr. X has taken some service on flight. That is basically, meaning is very clear that he has taken some service on board a conveyance. Correct, my dear friends? Friends, I hope you are understanding this point. So I repeat one more time, my dear friends. One flight is going from Visakhapatnam to Hyderabad to Mumbai to Goa. And Mr. X boarded that flight at Hyderabad and is performing journey from Hyderabad to Goa. Now question is, when the flight was in transit, when the flight was in Mumbai, X has taken some service on the flight. Now for goods, 10.1 is there, goods supplied on board a conveyance, where we directly learn the concept that where goods are taken on board, that becomes place of supply. But here tell me, are there any goods taken on board? Speak out. Are there any goods taken on board? No, this is service. Otherwise, watching of movies which is already there in flight. Watching of movies, which is already there in what, my dear friends? Flight. It's already there in flight, correct or not? Exactly. So what law told is that for this particular service, place of supply will be Andhra Pradesh. I'm sure you got most unexpected answer. Some of them would have thought Hyderabad because X boarded the flight in Hyderabad. Some of them would have thought Goa because flight is going to Goa. Some of them would have thought Maharashtra because he has taken service when the flight was in Maharashtra. But let me tell you, to your surprise, that the answer is Andhra Pradesh. It is not Telangana, it is not Maharashtra, it's not Goa, but the answer is Andhra Pradesh. Why so? Let me tell you, sir. Law clearly told, as per section, of course, 1210, POS would be, as per which section, sir? 1210. POS would be, come on friends, please kindly concentrate. As per section 1210, POS would be first scheduled point of departure. I repeat one more time, friends. POS is what, sir? POS will be first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for the journey. Come on, friends. What a brilliant language they have given, sir. So I'm talking about section 1210, and 1210 talks about place of supply for services provided on board a conveyance. And for services provided on board a conveyance, law clearly told that place of supply is not where the person has boarded, is not where person has taken service. It is not where the flight or aircraft or the vehicle or train is going. The answer is very clearly first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for the journey. Otherwise, where the flight is starting from, and if you observe very clearly, flight is starting from where? Come on. If you observe very clearly, flight is starting from Visakhapatnam, nothing but Andhra Pradesh. That is why place of supply became Andhra Pradesh, my dear friends. Such a brilliant point. In exam, one student wrote the answer correctly, but the language what he wrote is place of supply is wherever flight is starting. Place of supply is wherever flight is starting. Sir, what is that language? Wherever it is starting, wherever it is ending. Don't write that local language. You are CFNM student. I mean, in a big question, some part of the answer you are writing local language, understandable. I say I will accept it and they'll give marks. But for place of supply, how can you change the point, boss? Please don't write the word wherever it is starting, wherever it is going. No. What is the answer? First scheduled point of departure. What point of departure? First scheduled point of departure. First scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for the journey. Such a great point, friends. First scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for the journey. So you should not tell Telangana because we are talking about first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance. Because the flight is coming from AP, it will be AP only. It doesn't matter that X entered into the flight in Telangana. Even though X entered into flight in Telangana, the flight is actually coming from AP. And the total journey of that flight is AP to Goa via Telangana and Maharashtra. Clear, right? Wonderful. That is the story of 1210. Take it, come on. Interesting and important section. Please write. Place of supply for services on board a conveyance. Where law clearly told place where, what my dear friends, first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for the journey. Take the example very clearly, boss. Example gives you complete clarity of thought. We can become perfect in any point only by way of example, sir. I'm just waiting for you. Come on, last 30 seconds. Finish off writing. Done. I'll proceed then. Friends, in a quick way, let's once recall only the headings, my dear friends. Come on. What is 12 answer? 12 will apply only when both are in India. 12.2 general rule. 12.3 immobile property. 12.4 restaurant, catering, personal grooming, fitness, beauty treatment, health services including cosmetic and plastic surgery. 12.5 training and performance appraisal. 12.6 admission to event. 12.7 organizing an event. 12.8 transportation of goods. 12.9 transportation of passenger. 12.10 services on board a conveyance. Clear? Wonderful. So moving forward, friends, let me talk about some brilliant section called section 12.11. In this, so many points are there. It will take some time to understand. So kindly please listen, sir. 12.11 talks about place of supply in relation to telecommunication services. What services? Telecommunication services. Could be internet also. I'll divide them into two parts. The two parts are, my dear friends, number one, in case of fixed line, which could be mobile or internet or DTH. So DTH stands for what? Direct to home. The dish, they'll come and install the dish on the top of our home, right? Then only we are able to watch the television channels. For fixed line, mobile, internet or DTH, or there can be something called leased circuit. Leased circuit basically means LC, my dear friends. Generally, a lot of big companies, they lay these circuits between one office to another office. They lay these circuits from one office to another office so as to have that network transmission. Correct, right? Networking they do. That's called as leased circuit. So for fixed line, mobile, internet, DTH, leased circuit, what law clearly told is that for fixed line, place of supply is the place where the fixed line is installed. Place where fixed line is what's there? Installed. Now let's say, my dear friends, I'll give a small example here. Kindly please listen, sir. Listen please. So let's say there is a company called TEJA Limited, which is a registered person in Maharashtra. Now, TEJA Limited has got an office. TEJA Limited has got an office in, let's say, Goa. They have got an office in Goa. Now, TEJA Limited contacted somebody called Act Fibernet. Act Fibernet for the purpose of installation of fixed internet line. For fixed internet line, they contacted Act Fibernet. And Act Fibernet, let's say, Act Fibernet is in Rajasthan. Now one Maharashtra person contacted one Rajasthan person for the purpose of installation of a fixed internet line in Goa. And for this particular service, if you observe very clearly, supplier is Act Fibernet and recipient is TEJA Limited. And for this particular service, place of supply will be Goa. For a simple reason, because in case of fixed line, whether it is internet or it is telephone or it is a case of what, my dear friends? DTH or leased circuit, place of supply is straight away place where fixed line is installed. And one small change I'll do, instead of writing mobile, I'll use the word telephone or landline. Landline, my dear friends, landline phones at homes. Landline phone at home. Nowadays, majority are not having landline phone because everybody got used to the trend of mobile phones. There are 4 members in the family. All 4 of them are definitely having mobile phone. There was a time when nobody is having a mobile phone, only one landline phone at home. And after a point of time, things have changed where one mobile phone was there for the entire family, one landline phone was there. And after that, things have changed more drastically. Every member in the family is having one mobile phone. That's how the trend of this technology got changed, sir. So once upon a time, the life was different. Now the life is different. Once upon a time, we used to actually take effort to go out of the house to get some articles, to get some goods and all. But nowadays gone. Everything, click of a button, just to take your cell phone, keep clicking buttons, whatever you want it will come, provided you have the bank balance. That is important. That cannot be substituted. No technology can substitute bank balance. Not possible. Next, other side. Let me talk about mobile, my dear friends. And in mobile, I will bifurcate them as postpaid, prepaid. And what law told is that in case of postpaid, friends, we know what is postpaid, right? What is postpaid? We'll completely use it, enjoy using our cell phone. For after entire month is over, bill will come. Once upon a time, physical bills they used to come, but nowadays bill is coming by email or just a message will come. You can make the payment. So we pay later. Use first, pay later. That is why it is called as postpaid. Prepaid is pay first, then use later. That's why it's called prepaid. For postpaid, place of supply will be billing address of recipient. Come on, friends. For postpaid, what is the answer, sir? For postpaid, the answer is billing address of recipient. That is what is the answer in relation to what, my dear friends? Postpaid. But now, when I talk about other side of the story that's dealing with the concept of prepaid, my dear friends, in prepaid, I'm dividing them into three categories. What are three categories? Number one, recharge done online. Recharge done what, my dear friends? Online. Now law told if recharge is done online, they clearly told location of recipient. Location of what, sir? Recipient. Come on, friends. If recharge done online, what is the answer for place of supply, sir? It's location of recipient. Generally, we say location of recipient on the records of supplier. In supplier records, whatever is the place of supply, address of recipient, that becomes what, my dear friends? Place of supply. And generally, we will always have location of recipient, because nowadays there is a lot of importance given for KYC, know your customer. Without having all the proper documents, we cannot take a mobile connection. Earlier there were days just like that we used to take a SIM cards, but now it's not possible. We should definitely have proper documents to apply the SIM card. Clear, right? Now an interesting point I'll tell you, my dear friends, recharge done online, that also picked up so much importance nowadays. Whether it is free charge or Airtel Pay online, Vodafone Pay online, or something like free charge or Paytm, that is also possible. Through Paytm we can get the recharge done. Correct? Then next situation, if it is prepaid through selling agent, prepaid through what, my dear friends? Selling agent. Selling agent is something like we practically, when we walk out, we get to see this Airtel authorized stores or Vodafone authorized stores or Jio authorized stores. Correct, right? They are all called as selling agents of the company. They are all what, my dear friends? Selling agents of the company. So in those cases, what law told is that place of supply will be address of selling agent. Place of supply is what, my dear friends? Address of selling agent. Come on. If it is done through a selling agent, then place of supply will be the address of selling agent. Clear? Last. Other mode. Other mode means it is not through selling agent, it is not through online. For example, we might go to a local grocery shop or a local small shop where that person will do the recharge. We go to him and tell, sir, please do the recharge. He'll do recharge. Earlier we used to get all these recharge vouchers, keep on scratching. Take 1 rupee coin, 2 rupee coin and keep on scratching. Nowadays, we will just tell him to recharge. He will take his cell phone, click the buttons and get the recharge done. Correct, right? Now tell me, he is a small grocery shop. Now that man is not a selling agent. So if it is not a selling agent, what is the answer, my dear friends? Place of supply will be Come on friends, law told if he is not a selling agent, then place of supply will be the place where voucher is sold. Come on friends, place of supply is what, sir? Place of supply is the place where voucher is sold. Very, very interesting point, my dear friends. No doubt about it. Come on friends, which section we are talking, by the way? We are dealing with the section called section 1211, which talks about telecommunication services, where I divide them into two categories. In case of fixed line, whether it is landline or internet or DTH, that is direct to home, or lease circuit, place of supply is the place where fixed line is installed, wherever the fixed line is installed. And in mobile, we will bifurcate them into two categories, postpaid or prepaid. And for postpaid, straight away the answer is billing address. Obviously billing address is there because it is postpaid connection. And for prepaid, I divided them into three categories, friends. Recharge done through online, or recharge done through online or internet banking, or recharge done through selling agent, or through any other mode. That's it. Very interesting point, friends. Take it, come on. 1211, so far it has not come in exam, but somewhere I have a feeling that it should come. But why it is not coming? So sudden surprise can come in next attempt, where they might ask a question on 1211. How can we take a chance? We cannot take a chance, right? Come on, please write this. 1211, telecommunication services. Please write down, guys. Come on. Can I scroll it? Yeah. So, sir, there is no place over there properly. So let me do one thing. I first request you to write the story of fixed line. Once you write fixed line, I'll just scroll it further. Fixed line can be landline or internet or DTH, or it can be a lease circuit. And lease circuit, we popularly keep calling it as LC, my dear friends. LC means not letter of credit. That is different. That is another LC. But this LC basically means lease circuit. Clear? Now, please take the story of mobile also. And in mobile, I've got two categories, postpaid, prepaid. Postpaid billing address, prepaid if it is done through online, location of recipient. If it is done through selling agent, what is the answer, my dear friends? Address of selling agent. If it is any other mode, then place where voucher is sold. Clear, right? Done? Come on, last 1 minute, finish off writing. And you can actually take one example also what I gave below. And that example is related to fixed line. For fixed line, what is the answer, friends? For fixed line, the answer is very clear. The place where fixed line is installed, or the lease circuit, internet circuit, or a DTH. What is DTH? Direct to home. Come on, finish it. So I am giving time for you to write because I am drawing so many summary charts so that the things will be easy for you subsequently when you revise. That is why I always keep asking you to write. And that's always better that you write. Done? Can I move forward? If you finish writing the example also, I'll proceed. Come on, let me move forward. Sir, I'm taking you back to your material. Please open your material, come on. And I'm looking at page number 78 of the material. I'm looking at section 12, 10, sir. Services on board a conveyance. For services on board a conveyance, including a vessel, aircraft, train or motor vehicle, what is the place of supply, my dear friends? Location of first scheduled point of departure. Come on friends, what is the place of supply? First scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for the journey. First scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for the journey. Already we have done. 12-11 friends, telecommunication services including data transfer, broadcasting, cable and direct to home television services. What did they say? 20%. In case of service by way of fixed, this is important, fixed telecommunication line, that is landline phone, or a lease circuit, internet lease circuit, cable or dish antenna, the dish antenna what they'll put on top of our home, location where telecommunication line, lease circuit or cable connection or dish antenna is installed for receipt of services. Next point is very interesting, guys. See that LC is located in more than one state or UT. That means the lease circuit is in more than one state or UT. If the lease circuit is installed in more than one state or UT and a consolidated amount is charged for supply of services relating to such circuit, then place of supply is being in each of the respective state or UT. Come on friends, what is the answer, sir? Each of the respective state or UT. Each of the respective state or UT in proportion to the value for services, separately collected or determined in terms of the contract or agreement entered into in this regard. This kind of language already we learnt in 12.3 also, 12.7 also. 12.3, immovable property is in more than one state or UT. 12.7, if event is held in more than one state or UT, in those cases we learnt that place of supply will be each of the respective state in proportion to the value determined in the contract or agreement. No contract or agreement on such basis as may be prescribed and already law prescribed. For 12.3 we had rule 4 and 12.7 we had rule 5. Now for 12.11 my dear friends, we have rule 6, sir. For 12.3 what is the rule, sir? For 12.3 it is rule 4 and 12.7 it is rule 5, 12.8, 12.11 it is rule 6. That's what we're talking now. That's what we'll talk now. Come on, see that my dear friends. What is the story, sir? Rule 6. Rule 6 my dear friends. Come on, please let's look at the rule 6. See what law told my dear friends. In case of a circuit between 2 points or places, the starting point or the place of circuit and the end point or the place of circuit will invariably constitute 2 points. That means what? Sir, if there is one point, there is a circuit, there is another point. Then they clearly told starting point is regarded as one point, ending point is also regarded as one point. So we say that there are 2 points. I'll give an example, please see. A company T installed a leased circuit between the Delhi and Mumbai office. Between Delhi and Mumbai office, they got the leased circuit installed of company C. Starting point of the circuit is in Delhi. Starting point is where? Starting point is in Delhi and the ending point is in Mumbai. Hence, one point is in Delhi, another point is in Mumbai. And the place of supply for this service is in the Union Territory of Delhi and the state of Maharashtra. And my dear friends, service shall be deemed to have been provided in the ratio of 1:1 because one point is in Delhi, one point is in Maharashtra. Correct, right? Very simple. So starting point, ending point, both are regarded as 2 different points. Next, second one. And any intermediate point or a place in the circuit will also constitute a point, provided that the benefit of leased circuit is also available at that point. That means what? Sir, there is a starting point, there is an ending point. And of course, we know that starting point, ending point is regarded as 2 points. Now, interesting point, what I want to tell you is that there is an intermediate point also. And law clarified that intermediate point is also regarded as a separate point. See that? A company T installs a lease circuit between Chennai, Bangalore, Mysore office. Where is Chennai? Tamil Nadu, Bangalore, Karnataka, Mysore, Karnataka. Starting point of the circuit is in Chennai and ending point is in Mysore. And the circuit also connects Bangalore also. Also connect means what? There is an intermediate point. Hence, one point of this circuit is in Tamil Nadu and 2 points are in Karnataka. And the place of supply of service is in the state of Tamil Nadu as well as Karnataka. And service shall be deemed to have been provided in the ratio of 1:2 because 1 point is in Tamil Nadu and 2 points are in Karnataka. See one more example, sir. Company T installs a lease circuit between Kolkata, Patna, Guwahati office. Kolkata is in West Bengal, Patna is in Bihar, Guwahati is in Assam. Now there are 3 points in this circuit in 3 different states. 1 point each is of this circuit is in West Bengal, Bihar, Assam. And the place of supply of service is in the state of West Bengal, Bihar and Assam. And the service shall be deemed to have been provided in the ratio of 1:1 in the state of West Bengal, Bihar and Assam. Correct, right? It's a very brilliant and interesting point, friends. No doubt about it. So, friends, we are giving importance to the point. So, we are going to do apportionment based on number of points. Starting point and ending point are regarded as 2 different points. Any intermediate point is also regarded as a point. And I am sure you got the point. So, this is what is the point. You have to understand the point that there is an importance for the point. Clear? Done. That is what is the story of this lease circuit, my dear friends. And to clarify further, mobile connection for telecommunication and internet service on post-paid basis. Then law clearly told the answer is billing address on the records of supplier. And in case where it is taken on prepayment basis through a selling agent or reseller or distributor, then address of such selling agent and by any person to a final subscriber, then the location where prepayment is received or vouchers are sold. And last situation, if prepaid service is availed or recharge is made through internet banking or other electronic mode of payment, then location of receipt of services on the records of supplier, the address on records of supplier. In other cases, general address of recipient as per records of supplier. And if such address is not available, location of supplier. No doubt about it. If address of the recipient as per records of the supplier is not available, then we'll obviously follow location of supplier. That's it, my dear friends. That is the end of story for this beautiful section called 1211, which deals with some wonderful concept called telecommunication services. Clear, right? Very, very interesting and wonderful point, friends. And of course, we'll also discuss some good number of questions also on these points. Don't worry. Clear? Come on, let's move forward. So friends, now without delay, let's start looking at section 12, sir. What is 1211 talking about? 1211 is talking about telecommunication services. Now let's talk about 1212, something interesting. So let me give you a wonderful example to give you clarity of thought on what is the story of 1212, my dear friends. And let me tell you very clearly that section 1212 deals with the concept of place of supply related to banking and financial services. Come on, my dear friends. Banking and what's it? Financial services, including stockbroking. Banking and financial services, including what, my dear friends? Stockbroking. Such an interesting point. Let me explain this to you very clearly. So let's say for a second, Let me give a small example. Let's say, for example, there is one person called Mr. A. Or let's say for more perfection, let's take it as Mr. Prabhas. Why always Prabhas? Small change will do. Let's do something. Let's take it as Mr. Amir Khan. Okay. Now this particular person called Mr. Amir Khan is basically belonging to Maharashtra, and Amir Khan has got an account in ICICI Bank. Come on friends, where does he have an account? He has got an account in ICICI Bank. Now the interesting thing is that Amir Khan has gone for a tour to Meghalaya. He has gone for a tour to where, my dear friends? He has gone for a tour to Meghalaya. Now in Meghalaya, my dear friends, he has gone for a tour to Meghalaya, and in Meghalaya there was some urgent requirement of some banking services of ICICI Bank. The reason being very clear that maybe because his debit card is not working or something is not happening, something like that. Example I am giving. Today's date practically we don't have banking issues at all because everything became online. Just directly we are accessing our banking mobile app or internet banking. Some of them don't even know exactly, they even forgot exactly which branch they have got their bank account because everything is online banking now. See now. So Amir Khan of Maharashtra, he has got an account in ICICI Bank of Maharashtra, my dear friends. Now, he went to ICICI Bank. From ICICI Bank, Meghalaya, Amir Khan has taken service. Correct, right? Come on friends. Who is supplier, sir? Supplier is nothing but ICICI Bank, Meghalaya. Who is recipient? Recipient is nothing but Amir Khan, who is in Maharashtra. Correct, friends? Now tell me, for this particular answer, question, what will be place of supply? And law clearly told, place of supply will be Maharashtra. But one line I will tell you. If Amir Khan takes services from Axis Bank Meghalaya. Sir, not ICICI Bank Meghalaya. He has taken service from where, sir? If you take service from Axis Bank Meghalaya, then POS will be Meghalaya only. The reason is very clear that Amir Khan does not have an account in ICICI Bank. Amir Khan has got an account only in Amir Khan does not have an account in Axis Bank. Amir Khan does not have an account in Axis Bank, but he has an account only in ICICI Bank. So friends, let me very clearly tell you, sir, in section 12.12, what they told is that place of supply will be location of recipient. Location of recipient on records of supplier. That's why I clearly told you the example, my dear friends. When he went to ICICI Bank Meghalaya and taken service, in ICICI Bank records, already what address is there? In ICICI Bank records, already address of what will be there? Maharashtra will be there. That is why place of supply became Maharashtra, because the place of supply is location of recipient on the records of supplier. In ICICI Bank records, Amir Khan address is Maharashtra address. That is why place of supply is Maharashtra. But one special point to be noted is that if location of recipient, if what, my dear friends, location of recipient is not available, if location of recipient is what, my dear friends, is not available on records of supplier. Come on friends, what does the language say? If the location of recipient is not available on records of supplier, then place of supply will be location of supplier. Classic example of Axis Bank. So if Amir Khan, instead of going to ICICI Bank, if he is going to Axis Bank and taking service, in Axis Bank records, there is no address of Amir Khan. Obviously, there is no address of Amir Khan because Amir Khan does not have any account in Axis Bank. So in Axis Bank records, address of Amir Khan is not available. So place of supply will be location of supplier. That is nothing but Meghalaya, my dear friends. Such a brilliant and interesting point given by the law. No doubt about it. Very beautiful, very wonderful. And of course, very, very important also. Make sense, right? Good. Come on, friends. I really want you to take this point of 12-12. I always feel this concept as very, very interesting and important. Somehow it is not coming in exam, but I have a gut feeling it should come very soon. Which section, by the way? 12-12, which deals with banking and financial services, including stockbroking, where law clearly told that place of supply will be location of recipient on the records of supplier. However, if location of recipient is not available on the records of supplier, then place of supply will be location of supplier. That's why I give a clear example. So if Amir Khan, who has got an account in ICICI Bank Maharashtra, when he has gone for a tour to Meghalaya, if he takes service from ICICI Bank Meghalaya, still place of supply is Maharashtra only. However, if he takes service from Axis Bank Meghalaya, then place of supply will be Meghalaya. That's it. Come on, take this. Examples only give you clarity of thought, friends. Place of supply, what is most important is understanding by so many examples. That is only the most important thing in place of supply. Clear? Finish writing the example. Can I scroll it? Done. Let me scroll it then. Come on, take this concept also. First we wrote the example and this is the concept. And the concept clearly says location of recipient on the records of supplier. And one thing I really want you to understand is that here they never told receiver is registered or receiver is unregistered. Otherwise, in 12-12, it doesn't matter whether receiver is registered or unregistered. In section 12-12, in which section, my dear friends? Section 12-12. It makes no difference whether recipient is registered or unregistered. So it makes no difference whether recipient is registered or unregistered, my dear friends. That's it. Take this point. Let's close with 12-12. Can I proceed? Done. Let me proceed then. So friends, moving forward, the next discussion is all about section 12-13, my dear friends. Pretty simple and easy section. Not at all difficult. And one point you have to understand is that since we just spoke about banking and financial services, let me tell you 12-13 talks about insurance services. So place of supply for insurance services, and for insurance service they told two situations. That is, recipient is a registered person, recipient is unregistered person. And let me tell you, registered person, place of supply is location of such person. When I say location of such person, what does that mean? Location of such person basically means wherever he is registered, my dear friends. Getting clarity here? Come on friends, I repeat one more time. For insurance services, for what services? For insurance services, if recipient is a registered person, then place of supply will be location of such person. That means wherever he is registered. Right? Now, other side of the story, other side of the story, if recipient is an unregistered person, if recipient is unregistered person, place of supply will be, if recipient is unregistered person, then place of supply will be location of recipient. Both of them looks almost the same, but the small difference you have to observe is that for registered person they told location of such person. That means wherever he is registered, wherever he is registered. But for unregistered person they told answer is location of recipient. So wherever is the address of recipient, that becomes the answer. Wherever is the address of recipient, that becomes the answer. No doubt about it. Simple point. That's all. That's the story of section 12. What, my dear friends? 13, which deals with the concept of insurance services. Take it, come on. No relaxation. Please write. So for insurance services, recipient registered, location of such person. Unregistered, location of recipient. That means basically the address of recipient. And don't ask me a question, sir, what if address is not there? That is generally not possible. Always you find address, because we're talking about something called insurance. For insurance, generally we keep giving address for sure. So for registered, location of this person, unregistered, address of recipient. That's basically location of recipient. That's all. Moving forward, guys, tell me the answer for this question. So let's say there is a company called Reliance Limited, which is a registered person in Maharashtra. Registered person where, my dear friends? Maharashtra. And they contacted New India Assurance, who is a registered person in Gujarat, and Reliance has paid 30 lakhs to get insurance of godown in Rajasthan. Insurance of godown where, my dear friends? Rajasthan. Now tell me basically what is going to happen. Reliance Limited registered person in Maharashtra is paying 30 lakhs to New India Assurance for getting insurance of godown in Rajasthan. Now who is supplier actually? Supplier is nothing but New India Assurance, and recipient is nothing but Reliance. Now my straight question, friends, is recipient a registered person? 100% answer is yes. So place of supply will straight away become Maharashtra, no doubt about it. And by any chance, if recipient is unregistered, then we say that address of recipient. Recipient is nothing but Reliance Limited. The address is Maharashtra only. So place of supply will be Maharashtra only. So generally, my dear friends, whether recipient registered, unregistered, generally answer remains same. In case of 12-13, generally it always remains same, sir. Come on, take the example. This is a story of 12-13, insurance services. So can we proceed, sir? Good. Let's move forward. So friends, we are almost at the end of completion of section 12. But of course, we have got 12-14. That will take some sweet time. Don't worry. Come on. Can you please tell me what is section 12.1? Provisions of section 12 will apply only when location of supplier, location of recipient both are in India. 12.2, my dear friends, general rule. 12.3, immovable property. 12.4, restaurant and catering services, personal grooming, fitness, beauty treatment, health services, including cosmetic and plastic surgery. 12.5 training and performance appraisal, 12.6 admission to event, 12.7 organizing an event, 12.8 transportation of goods, 12.9 transportation of passengers, 12.10 services on board a conveyance, 12.11 telecommunication services, and 12.12 banking and financial services including stockbroking, and 12.13 deals with the concept of insurance services. But last section is there, that also we'll talk in detail. But before I go to last one, let's once revise these points by looking at some questions. Yeah, ready? Multiple choice question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 also done. Ninth one you see, my dear friends. Place of supply for DTH by ABC Private Limited located in Mumbai to customer in Patna. So obviously place of supply is Patna, and that is dealt because of section 12.11 telecommunication services, which clearly says that in case of fixed line for internet or lease circuit or DTH, place of supply is the place where the fixed line is installed. 10th question. X of Hyderabad, not having a bank account, takes a demand draft in Kolkata from ABC Bank for his visa purpose. Sir, practically we can go to any bank and take a demand draft. So he has went to a bank in Kolkata and taken one DD, and he does not have an account in that bank. So obviously place of supply will be Kolkata because of section 12.12, which says that if the location of recipient is not available, on the records of supplier, then place of supply will be location of supplier. We learned this point, my dear friends. Clear? Good. 11th one later, 12th one later, 13 already over. 14th one you see, my dear friends. NM Shipping Company located in Chennai charges ocean freight charges for transportation of goods to California for customer located in Bangalore. So goods are going where? California. That means the goods are going outside India. And I taught you very clearly that in case where the goods are destined outside India, place of supply will be place of destination of such goods. That is why the answer is California. And this point is given by section 12.8, service by way of transportation of goods. Then 15, 16, 17 over, 18th also done. And some examples 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over. Yeah, 9th question we'll see. A caterer is providing catering services, sir, on board a train during Mumbai, Goa, Mangalore, which is not included in the fare charges. So I already told you that in case of services on board a conveyance, place of supply will be the first scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for the journey. So answer is straight away Mumbai. And this point is coming because of section 12.10, which deals with services on board a conveyance. Next, Ankur of Telangana, who has a savings account with Axis Bank of Telangana, gets a DD issued from Axis Bank at Pune, then definitely answer is Telangana only, as Ankur's address is in the records of Axis Bank. Next line you see, my dear friends. However, if he has taken DD from HDFC Bank in Pune without having a bank account there, then POS would be HDFC Mumbai, that is Pune. Clear, right, sir? Very simple point. 12.12 says banking and finance services including stockbroking. Place of supply will be location of recipient on the records of supplier. But if location of recipient is not available on the records of supplier, then place of supply will be location of supplier. That's it. We have done this point. Last, 11th example. Ms. Shipra, residing in Batinda, she is staying where, sir? Batinda, travels by Air India flight from Chennai to Delhi and gets travel insurance done in Delhi. Even though she got insurance done in Delhi, she is unregistered. Location of recipient, what address is there? Batinda, obviously. being the location of recipient on the records of insurance company. And don't ask a question, what if address is not there? That generally won't happen, because insurance service, whenever we take, we always give our address. This story is given by section 12, 13 boss. 12th example already over, 13th example also done. Then questions, first question done, second question done. Third question, what will be place of supply where goods or services are supplied on board a conveyance such as vessel, aircraft, train, motor vehicle? For goods, we will apply provisions of section 10(1)(e), which says the place where goods are taken on board. And for services, we will apply 12(10), which says first scheduled point of departure. First what, sir? First scheduled point of departure of that conveyance for the journey. Done. Fourth question, fifth question also over. Look at sixth question, friends. What is the place of supply of goods, service by way of transportation of goods, including mail or courier? Straight away, my dear friends, section 12(8) will come into picture. If receiver is registered person, location of such person. And if receiver is unregistered person, what's there? The place where goods are handed over for their transportation. Next, seventh question. Interesting question. See that. What will be place of supply for passenger transportation service if the person travels from Mumbai to Delhi and back to Mumbai? Sir, straight away, my dear friends, seventh question. If recipient is registered person, then POS would be location of such person. So if recipient is registered person, POS will be what, sir? Location of such person. But an interesting point we learnt is that if recipient is unregistered person, then POS would be place where passenger embarks on conveyance for continuous journey. Embark means wherever he is getting into that conveyance. So in example, my dear friends, for Mumbai to Delhi, come on friends, for Mumbai to Delhi, the answer becomes Mumbai. Whereas from Delhi to Mumbai, the answer becomes Delhi. In case where the person is unregistered. But by any chance, if the person is registered person, then place of supply will be location of such person. And when I say location of such person, that means wherever he is registered. That's it. Very, very simple point. And this all story is actually given by a brilliant section called section 12(9). 12(8) talks about transportation of goods. 12(9) talks about transportation of passengers. Very interesting and of course very important. Next, what is the place of supply for mobile connection? Can it be location of supplier? 8th question, my dear friends. I have to answer this question based on section 12(11), where we say that in case of mobile connection, what is the answer, sir? Depends upon postpaid or prepaid. For postpaid, what is the answer? Billing address. For prepaid, if the recharge is done through internet banking or online, then location of address of recipient. But if recharge is done through a selling agent, then place of supply is address of selling agent. Any other mode, place of supply is the place where voucher is sold or prepayment is received. And in all these cases, by any chance, if the address of recipient is not available, then only the place of supply will be location of supplier. Possible. Clear? Good. Next question. Question number 9. A person from Mumbai goes to Kulu Manali and takes some services from ICICI Bank in what, my dear friends? Manali. What will be place of supply? The answer is very simple. If person has account in, if person has account in ICICI Bank Mumbai, then POS is Mumbai. POS is what, sir? Mumbai. And if he does not have account in ICICI Mumbai, then POS is what, my dear friends? Straight away POS will become Manali. And this all story is given by section 12, which says location of recipient on the records of supplier. But by any chance, if the location of recipient is not available on the records of supplier, then place of supply is what, sir? Location of supplier. That's it. We have done this point. Then, 10th question. An unregistered person, see the question, come on. An unregistered person from Gurugram travels by Air India flight from Mumbai to Delhi and gets travel insurance done in Mumbai. What will be place of supply? No doubt about it. For this question, answer is Gurugram, my dear friends. And why it is Gurugram? Because section 12.13 says, in case of insurance services, if receiver is a registered person, then place of supply is what, sir? The place of supply is what? Location of such person. But if recipient is an unregistered person, then place of supply will be location of recipient. I already taught this point to you, sir. So applying that principle, place of supply will become Gurugram. And that answer is coming because of section 12.13. And in exam, whenever you write the answer, please split your answer into 3 parts. Part 1 will be your concept or the provision or the section what you are going to write. And part 2 will be the interpretation what you are going to do. Part 1 is what, sir? The concept or the section what you are going to write. Part 2 is the interpretation what you are going to do. And part 3, my dear friends, will be the conclusion. Clear? That's how you split your answer. Don't directly throw the answer Gurugram. If you throw the answer Gurugram, they will not throw marks. Keep this point in mind. So if you want full scores, then definitely you have to write properly all the points. Then only you will get your full scores. Clear? That's it. 11th one already over, 12th one done, 13th one done. 14th one is requires some knowledge, that is on section 13. 15th one also section 13 only. 16 over, 17 over, 18 over, 19th also done, 20 also done. That's it. So it's time now to talk about section 12, 14. Clear? And before I talk about 12, 14, sir, I want you to take some small table in your notes so that you will remember this point. Section number, relevant rule. Section number 12.3, relevant rule is rule 4. 12.7, relevant rule is rule 5. And sometime back we discussed 12.11, telecommunication rule 6, which deals with the concept of starting point, ending point regarded as 2 separate points. Intermediate point is also regarded as separate points. Come on, please write this, don't relax. So for 12.3 relevant rule is what, sir? Rule 4. And for 12.7 relevant rule is rule 5. And for 12.11, 12 what? 12.11 that is. For 12.11, the relevant rule is rule 6. And rule 12.3 was talking about immovable property. And 12.7 talks about organizing an event. And 12.11 talks about telecommunication services. That's it. Because I want you to remember the rule number also. That is why I wrote all this. And this is all given by section number is of IGST Act. And rule number is obviously of IGST rules. So this you have to remember. In exam you have to write the rule number also. At CA final level they expect you to write all these points. Done? That's it. So let me start discussion about the last story of section 12. That is the story of section 12. 14, sir. Come on, let's start. So friends, now finally the last section 12.14. Section will not take much time, but the rule related to 12.14 that will take a lot of time. Now what is 12.14 talking about? So 12.14 basically talks about advertisement service. But not just to private people. It basically talks about advertisement service provided to central government, state government, statutory body, local authorities and all. Correct? See, for example, sir, let me give a small example. So let's say there is an ad agency. They are providing advertisement service to central government. Now what is the advertisement service? Advertisement service is basically Pradhana Mantri Ujjwal Yojana scheme. Pradhana Mantri what scheme, sir? Ujjwal Yojana scheme. So this scheme they wanted it to be campaigned. They wanted advertisement to be done for Pradhana Mantri Ujjwal Yojana scheme. Lot of times we see advertisement like this, sir. We get to see so many advertisements on TV or in newspapers or in radio channels or in different platforms where government is giving advertisement. For example, sir, when Swachh Bharat started, Swachh Bharat mission advertisement was done in a very big way, and the respective state governments also give advertisement related to the projects they have done or related to development activities they carried out, or the state government may do advertisement for promoting their tourism. Classic example, Gujarat government does this a lot. Gujarat government gives tremendous advertisements to promote Gujarat tourism. Correct, right? So interesting point is that now, so for example, let's say advertisement is given. Nowadays, there are so many ways for advertisement. It's not just about pamphlets. Gone are the days where pamphlet is given. Pamphlet is one way, it's still there. But advertisement can be given on the radio, advertisement can be given on TV, or advertisement through internet. So nowadays, sir, so many times when we open YouTube to watch some videos, what will happen now? When we open a YouTube to start playing a video, first some advertisement will come. We have to wait for that option to come skip ad. Correct, right? Now, why do you think the advertisement is coming? The advertising person has paid money to the video owner. And generally what they do is that wherever the reach is more, wherever YouTube videos visibility is high, they get the advertisements done. That is the reason why a lot of people are there who just make money through YouTube. We keep calling them as YouTube bloggers, YouTube videos. They are just making money on YouTube videos. Some of them make money only on prank videos. What not? Some of them are making money on making videos related to fun, entertainment, laughter. Sir, there are so many ways in which technology is playing a role nowadays. Now, when advertisement is done, how do you apportion that? For example, sir, when advertisement is done through internet, entire India will watch. Now, how do you apportion which state is the place of supply? That is important. Clear, right? So, law gave some basis for the purpose of apportionment to be read by Rule 3, my dear friends. Rule 3 of IGST rules talks about the basis for apportionment. Come on. Let me take you to the 12.14 section. Yes, 12.14. Very interesting and important. Came in exam one time, sir. One time this came in exam. Only one time. But still we can't take chance, right? Come on. So what service we are talking about, my dear friends? Advertisement services. That too to whom? Advertisement service to central government, state government, statutory body or local authority. So friends, please take this point in your notes. Please take this point in your notes. I want the same point to be written in the notes very clearly that 1214 talks only about advertisement services given to central government, state government, statutory body or to a local authority. Advertisement services to central government, state government, statutory body or local authority. That much is only covered in 1214, sir. Clear? See now, come on. 1214 advertisement service to central government, state government, statutory body and local authority. See what they told. Meant for states or union territories. Meant for what? States or union territories identified in the contract or agreement. Meant for states or UT identified in the contract or agreement. Place of supply is taken as what? See, that is important. Place of supply is taken as being in such states or UT. Such states or UT. Basically, if you look at such state or UT, wherever advertisement is played, where advertisement is played or broadcasted. For example, my dear friends, let me tell you, sir, one time I went to Kerala to visit temples. For temples tour, I went to Kerala once. When I went to Kerala, in the Kerala airport, there is one big hoarding which is put up by Gujarat government telling Gujarat tourism, come to Gujarat, experience the world of Gujarat. Like that, one big hoarding they are put up. So basically, the advertisement is given by Gujarat government. Now somebody gave advertisement service to Gujarat government for the purpose of promoting the Gujarat tourism. Next. Value of such supply specific to each state or UT shall be in proportion to amount attributable to services provided by way of dissemination in respective states or UT as may be determined in the contract or agreement. So if it is more than one state, we will look at as per the contract or agreement. And in the absence of contract or agreement, on such basis as may be prescribed. And refer notes I wrote. Why refer notes? I will show you. I prepared a simple table to understand rule 3. Through that table, we'll understand. It will take some time, but still it's important. Clear? Good. So we're talking about what, sir? 1214. So section 1214 deals with advertisement services to central government, state government, statutory body. What is the last one, guys? The last one is local authority. Exactly. And for this, my dear friends, the place of supply is the place where advertisement is displayed or played. Why I am saying displayed or played? Because displayed is the word used for hoardings and played is the word for TV, or broadcasted. Broadcasted in case of radio, etc. So the place where advertisement is displayed or played or broadcasted, etc. That becomes what, my dear friends? Place of supply. But if advertisement is to be done in more than one state, then POS would be each of the respective state, in proportion to the value determined in contract or agreement. Come on, friends. If advertisement is to be done in more than one state, then what is the answer, my dear friends? Place of supply will be each of the respective state in proportion to the value determined in the contract or agreement. And next line, friends. In absence of contract or agreement, then straight away my point is that provisions of Rule 3 will apply. So we have got one rule called Rule 3 of IGST rules, which talks about the basis for apportionment, and they gave a different basis in different case based on advertisement done in TV or radio or newspaper or internet, or advertisement can be done through SMS also. Correct, right? Come on, take this point. I want this in your notes. I want this to be written. Then I'll start in detail the story of Rule 3. But first take this in your notes, then we'll start Rule 3. Come on. Take it, sir. Please write properly in detail about the story of Section 12(14). Advertisement services provided to central government, state government, statutory body or local authority. And POS will be what, sir? Each of the respective state in proportion to the value determined in the contract or agreement. And in the absence of the contract or agreement, provisions of what will apply? Rule 3 will apply. Finish writing, come on, take it. I'm just waiting for you. Last 30 seconds. Done then, I'll move forward. Come on. So I'll just make you write a lot of points now. You have to cooperate with me, sir. Let me talk about Rule 3 of IGST rules. Hold on, don't worry. Don't worry, I'm telling you, don't worry. We'll go very slowly, properly we'll talk. Point by point we'll discuss. Need not worry at all. Ready, sir? Come on, look at that first. Rule 3 of IGST rules related to Section 12(14) of IGST Act. What the first point? Come on. First point talks about advertisement in newspapers and publications. That means advertisement is given on paper. When advertisement is done in paper, my dear friends, then law told you apportion in the basis of advertisement in all the editions of the newspaper or publication which are published in each state or UT. So based on all editions of the newspaper, based on number of newspapers, we'll apportion advertisement in what, sir? All editions of newspaper or publications which are published in each such state or UT. Why they are telling edition? Because in Maharashtra, Mumbai edition will be different, Pune edition will be different. Correct, right? So different cities will get different edition. But even though cities are different, the state is still the same. So advertisement in all the editions of the newspaper or publication which are published in each state or UT. Clear? Done. Write this point. I'll write one after that you write, then only we'll move forward. Write the first point. Advertisement in newspapers and publications. Newspapers and publications, please write down. Advertisement in what, sir? All editions. One more time I repeat. Advertisement in what, sir? All the editions of a newspaper or publications. Newspaper or publications which are published in each state or UT. Check it, come on. Interesting. Visible, right? First point. Advertisement in newspapers and publication. Advertisement in all the editions of newspaper or publication which are published in each state or UT. Advertisement in all the editions of newspapers or publication which are published in each state or UT. Can I proceed? Clear, right? Come on. Second bit. Advertisement through what, sir? Printed materials like pamphlets, leaflets, diaries, calendars, t-shirts, etc. So advertisement can be done through pamphlets also, diaries, calendars, on t-shirts. Nowadays on the t-shirt they are printing. So what they told, my dear friend, what is the basis? Come on. Distribution of specific number of such material in each state or UT. Come on, please write this. Advertisement through what, sir? Printed materials. Please write, come on. Advertisement through printed materials like pamphlets, leaflets, diaries, calendars, t-shirts, etc. So for advertisement through printed material, what is the answer, friends? Distribution of a specific number of such material in each state or UT. Distribution of specific number of such material in each state or UT. Please write down. So what are the first one, friends? First one was about newspapers and other publications. For that the answer was advertisement in all the editions of a newspaper or publication which are published in that state or UT. And second case, through printed materials like pamphlets, leaflets, diaries, calendars or t-shirts. What is the answer, guys? Distribution of specific number of such material in each state or UT. Next point. Third point. Advertisement in hoarding other than those on trains. Advertisement by way of hoardings, the traditional way of advertisement. And for this, my dear friends, law told the basis for apportionment means hoardings located in each state or UT. So based on number of hoardings, you do the apportionment. That's all. Pretty simple point. Write down. So for advertisement in hoardings, hoardings located in what, sir? Each state or UT. So based on number of hoardings, we'll do the apportionment. So first one was newspaper, second one was printed materials, third one is hoardings, and for hoardings the answer is very clear, based on number of hoardings located in each state or UT. Fourth point, very popular and of course very interesting and important. Advertisement on train. So on train only they are giving advertisement. For example, on metro, pillar or metro also we will get this advertisement. Correct, right? Nowadays this concept is more. Advertisement on what? Train. What is the basis, sir? Length of the railway track. What a brilliant point. Length of the railway track in each of such state or UT for that train. So length of the railway track in each of such state or UT for that train. For example, friends, let's say one train is going from Mumbai to Gujarat and Maharashtra to Gujarat. A train is going from Maharashtra to Gujarat. So we will see the length of railway track. We will see the length of railway track, how much pertains to Maharashtra, how much pertains to Gujarat. Then we will do the apportionment. If some other state is there, some other state also can come. Correct, right? So ultimately the basis is very simple. Length of railway track in each of such state or UT for that train. So we are doing apportionment basis the length of railway track. So for newspapers, first one. Second one, printed material. Third one, hoardings. For hoardings, what is the answer? Hoardings located in each state or UT. Fourth one was talking about train, and when we give advertisement on train itself, then they told the basis is length of railway track. Come on, please write. Length of railway track, not length of train. Hello. It is length of railway track in each of such state or UT. So can I look at fifth one? Yes. Fifth one. Advertisement on the back of utility bills of oil and gas companies. Lot of times, my dear friends, whenever we order the gas, HP gas, Indian gas, whatever gas it is, the gas bill will come, right? On the back of gas bill, you will find advertisements of the government. Especially you will find Pradhan Mantri Ujjwal Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, or any schemes of the government. So for that, my dear friends, the basis what they told is advertisement on bills. Advertisement on what, sir? Bills. Advertisement on bills pertaining to consumers having billing address. Having what address, my dear friends? Advertisement on bills pertaining to consumers having billing address in each of such state or UT. Clear? So based on billing address of the customers, we will divide. So how many billing addresses are there in this state? How many billing addresses are there in that state? Based on that, we will do the apportionment. Come on, please write down. Fifth point, advertisement on the back of utility bills of oil and gas companies, etc. Advertisement on the back of utility bills. Utility bills back, that's very common, sir. Generally behind our gas bills, what we get, we always find advertisement. Check if you want. Come on. How do you apportion? Advertisement on bills. Advertisement on bills pertaining to the consumers having billing address in each of such state or UT. Take it, come on, write down. Advertisement on bills pertaining to consumers having billing address in each of such state or UT. So please write, come on. Advertisement on what, sir? Bills pertaining to consumers having billing address. That is an interesting point. So can I move forward? Done. Next. Point number 6, my dear friends. Advertisement on railway tickets. So sometime back we discussed about advertisement on train. For advertisement on train, they told length of railway track. Length of railway track. Now we are talking about advertisement on railway ticket. So on the back of railway ticket, they are doing the advertisement. Then law told simple point. You divide based on number of railway stations in each of such state or UT. So for advertisement on train, the basis is what? Length of the railway track. But advertisement on railway tickets, the basis is number of railway stations in each of such state or UT. I'll highlight that important word, railway stations. Take it, come on, please write. I'm going very slow because I want you to write all these points. That's why I'm going slow. So please do write. Done? So let's recall once what we have done. 6 points over now already. First point, for newspapers, what is the story? All editions of newspapers or publications, correct? And for printed material, what is the answer? Distribution of specific number of that material in that state or UT. That means how much quantity we have distributed. And for hoardings located in each state or UT. And for advertisement on train, what is the basis, sir? Length of railway track. And for advertisement on the back of utility bills of oil and gas companies, what is the answer, friends? We look at consumers having billing address. Then on railway ticket, my dear friends, what is the answer? Number of railway stations. That is the basis for apportionment. Then advertisement on radio station, sir. For advertisement on radio station, what they told is that amount payable to such radio station, 92.7, 93.5, 98.3, correct, right? Amount payable to the radio station which by virtue of its name is a part of each state or UT. That means we are not concerned with where the radio station is located. We are concerned with only with where that audio is being heard. We are not concerned with where the radio station is located. We are concerned with where the audio can be heard. So today's date, lot of importance has been picked up for radio. Lot of people are accessing the radio content. Many of them are doing advertisements on radio also. It became extremely popular. Come on. Advertisement on radio station. Write down. Come on, write the 7th point. So we have totally some 11 points we have. So please cooperate. Come on. Advertisement on radio stations. 92.7, 98.3, 93.5. Any radio station, sir. So for advertisement on radio station, the answer is amount payable to such radio station which by virtue of its name is a part of each state or UT. Amount payable to such radio station which by virtue of its name, what, sir? Name is a part of each state or UT. Finish writing? So for radio, what is the answer, sir? Amount payable to the radio station which by virtue of its name is a part of each state or UT. Clear? Come on, last few points and they are very interesting, sir. Advertisement on television channels, extremely popular. Advertisement on what? TV. Come on, write that. Advertisement on TV. Just write that word, advertisement on TV. Concept I'll explain to you. Clear? Come on, sit down. For advertisement on TV, what they told is that we will apportion based on viewership of the channel. Viewership based on number of viewers. Number of viewers, my dear friends. In fact, there is something called Broadcast Audience Research Council. We in short call it as BARC. Broadcast Audience Research Council. They give figures based on how many viewers have viewed that program, viewed that channel. Viewership of such channel in each state or UT. Correct, right? That is the reason why lot of times when we get Bahubali movie or some top class movies on TV, if the movie is for 3 hours, but the movie will run on TV for 4 hours, because 1 hour they'll run advertisements only. That's how they make money. Simple. Viewership of such channel in each of such state or UT. Figures for the last week of a given quarter. Figures for what, sir? Figures for last week of a given quarter. Last week of a given quarter is used for calculating viewership for succeeding quarter. So current quarter last week figures is used for calculating for succeeding quarter. Clear, friends? Come on, interesting important point. Figures for what, sir? Figures for what? Come on, please reply. Figures for the last week of a given quarter is used for calculating viewership for succeeding quarter. And see next line, friends. Where the channel viewership figures relate to a region comprising of more than one state or UT. For example, viewership figures you got it for Maharashtra, Goa combined together, but you are not able to get exactly how much for Maharashtra, exactly how much for Goa, but you got combined figure. Then what will you do? Viewership figures for a state or UT of that region is calculated in the ratio of population of that state or UT. So if you get the figures of more than one state together, then you apportion based on population of that state or UT as determined in the latest census. That's all. Clear, right? This is a story of advertisement on television. Extremely wonderful point. Take it, friends. Come on, write down. Please write. So we are apportioning based on what's the viewership of such channel in each of such state or UT. And the important point to be kept in mind is that figures for the last week of a given quarter, figures for the last week of a given quarter is used for calculating viewership for succeeding quarter. Figures for last week of a given quarter is used for calculating viewership for succeeding quarter. And by any chance you get figures for a region which consists of more than one state, then you apportion that again based on population. Very powerful point, my dear friends. Take it, sir. I'm waiting. Come on, please write. And by the way, from where do we get the viewership figures, sir? Viewership figures are published by BIRC, Broadcast Audience Research Council. Based on the audience, they do the research and give the viewership figures. How many of them are viewing this particular channel at this particular point of time? So they do that, sir. Don't worry. Don't think it's not possible. 100% it is possible to get that figures. Done? That's it. That is the story of advertisement on what's there? Television. Very powerful and very important. Done. That is the story for advertisement on television, my dear friends. Now, let me do something, sir. One question came in exam one time on this concept. Let me discuss that once with you. Yes. See this question. You will get full clarity on the point what I taught you just now. PQ. Come on, see the question, friends. Let me give complete clarity on the concept. PQ, a statutory body, deals with all the advertisement and publicity of the government. Very good. It has issued a release order to Moon Plus channel for telecasting an advertisement relating to one of the schemes of the government in September month. And advertisement will be telecasted in the states of A, B, C, D, E. And the total value of the service contract entered into between Moon Plus and PQ is 10 lakhs. So 10 lakh rupees is for the all 5 states. You are required to determine place of supply of the service in the instant case as well as the value of supply attributable to ABCD. Compute GST liability of Moon Plus. Come on. As to whether it should issue one invoice for entire contract or separate invoice. Obviously they have to give separate invoice only, in that no doubt. Separate state-wise invoice is mandatory. See now. Viewership figures, we know that we will apportion based on viewership only. For A, what is the story, sir? 50,000. And for B plus C together, we got 1 lakh. D plus C together 50,000. So when you got together figures, again you will apportion based on what? Population. Now can you please tell me what is B and C population? 180 and 200. So this 1 lakh, my dear friends, for B, I will take it as 1 lakh into 180 by 200. For C, 1 lakh into 20 by 200. Other words, viewership figures, we are apportioning based on the population. Getting clarity? So 1 lakh into 180 by 200. This comes to how much, my dear friends? 90,000. And this comes to 10,000. That's it. In the same manner, D plus E also I'll apportion 50,000. In what ratio? D will be 50,000 into 100 divided by 125. E will be 50,000 into 25 divided by 125. 25 125 is 1 by 5. So this comes to 10,000. And this comes to 40,000. So basically viewership figures, they'll only tell in the question. But if that figures pertaining to more than one region, we'll divide again based on what's their population. That's all. So what is the answer now, by the way? Viewership for A is 50,000, B is 90,000, C is 10,000, D is 40,000, E is again 10,000. In that ratio, we'll divide the figure of 10 lakhs and get the answer. That's it. Come on. Let me show you the answer so that you'll be convinced with the discussion what we have done so far. By the way, which section, sir? 12, 14. Where the advertisement is broadcasted, run, played, disseminated. And it's all the 5 states A, B, C, D, E. Come on, see now. How did we apportion? Please see. This B is to C, 180 is to 20. So I got it as, what my dear friends? 180 is to 20. So I got it as 90,000, 10,000. So 5 lakhs and 90,000 by 10,000 comes to 4.5 lakhs and 50,000. Same story, 100 is to 25, 4 is to 1. That's it, my dear friends. Based on that, we will divide. So you have to understand very clearly that whenever advertisement is given on TV, the basis for apportionment is based on viewership figures. And if the viewership figures relate to more than one, relate to a region which is comprising of more than one state, then we'll again apportion based on the population. That is what you have to observe, my dear friends. Very simple and very easy for that matter. Very scoring also. If this kind of question comes, you should feel extremely happy actually. No doubt about it. And you can see one line here. Moon Plus channel will have to issue 5 separate invoice for each of that state. Since place of supply is in 5 different states. Obviously. Clear, sir? Are we getting clarity on this point? That's it. So friends, come on. So to clarify once again further, what is the story, guys? In case of advertisement on train, what will you say? Length of the track. And in case of advertisement on railway tickets, number of railway station. And for hoardings, number of hoardings located in that state. And for TV, viewership. And the figures of last week of a given quarter. Figures for the last week of a given quarter is used for calculating viewership for succeeding quarter. And by chance, if you get viewership figures for more than one state together, then you apportion based on population of that state. That's it. Next. 9th one. Advertisement in what, sir? Cinema hall. Whenever we go to theater, in cinema halls we find advertisements. Correct, right? And for advertisement in cinema halls, law told amount payable to cinema hall or screens in a multiplex in each state or UT. So we will see number of how many theaters are there in each state or UT. Simple point. Take it, come on. Advertisement in what, sir? Cinema hall. Nothing but theaters. Lot of times when we go to movies, we will find advertisements. Government ads will come. Swachh Bharat. So for advertisement in theater, what is the answer, guys? Amount payable to cinema hall. Amount payable to a cinema hall or screens in a multiplex. Amount payable to cinema hall or screens in a multiplex in each state or UT. Cinema hall or screens in multiplex in each state or UT. Please write, come on, please write. Done? I'm sure we got full clarity on this point. Done, my dear friends. Last 1-2 points now. Advertisement on internet. And of course, advertisement on internet, my dear friends, one line I'll tell. POS is deemed to be all over India. Because when you are doing through internet, entire India will watch. Correct? Come on, write this. Advertisement on internet. POS is deemed to be all over India. but all over India, how to apportion? That is important. That we'll talk. Advertisement on internet, POS is deemed to be all over India. Wrote this point. So for advertisement on internet, POS is where, my dear friends? All over India. But all over India, how do we do apportionment? That is important. Then law told, please do apportionment based on number of internet subscribers in each state or UT. Now you will get one doubt, sir, how will we know these figures of internet subscribers? They are given by some authority called TRAI. There is something called Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. They will give the figures of number of internet subscribers in each state or UT. And figures for last quarter of a given financial year will be used for calculating the number of subscribers for succeeding financial year. Come on friends, what is that line? Figures for last quarter of a financial year will be used for calculating number of subscribers for succeeding financial year. So that means, for example, if there is 18-19 financial year, 18-19 last quarter, 18-19 last quarter will be used for financial year 19-20. So in television the story was different. Television the story was figures for what, sir? Last week of a given quarter is used for calculating viewership for succeeding quarter. Last week of quarter is used for succeeding quarter. But here what did they say? Come on. Figures for what, sir? Last quarter of a financial year. Last quarter of a financial year will be used for calculating number of subscribers for succeeding financial year. So last quarter figures will use for succeeding financial year. That's what they told, sir. And below point, already you know, same story, where the internet subscriber figure relate to a region comprising of more than one state or UT. They will apportion on the basis of population. Already I told this point to you. If you get the figures of more than one state combined together, then we'll apportion on the basis of what's their population. I told this point. So here what is the story, friends? Figures for last quarter of a financial year will be used for number of internet subscribers for succeeding financial year. So example, 18-19 last quarter figures. 18-19 last quarter figures are used for financial year 19-20. Write down please, come on. 12-14 dealt with rule 3, sir. Rule 3 of IGST rules. And of course, this all rule and section talks only about advertisement service provided to central government, state government, statutory body or local authority. If it's private persons, then this will not apply. If this will not apply, where will you go? Go back to general rule. No doubt in that. Done. So for television, we are dividing based on viewership, and for internet, number of internet subscribers. And last point, friends, advertisement through SMS. Advertisement through SMS. Nowadays messages keep on coming. We have got that offer, this offer, government schemes, that schemes, this schemes. They keep on sending messages. Advertisement can be done through SMS also. And law told very clearly, for advertisement through SMS, you wrote this word, advertisement through what? SMS. Last point, put that side heading, advertisement through SMS. For advertisement through SMS, let me tell you friends, the basis for apportionment is number of telecom subscribers in each of such state or UT. Telecom subscribers in a telecom circle can be ascertained from figures published by TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Previous point also same, but previous point we will apportion based on number of internet subscribers, but here based on number of telecom subscribers. An interesting point is figures for a given quarter. Figures for a given quarter will be used for calculating the subscribers for succeeding quarter. So for television they told figures of last week of a given quarter will be used for succeeding quarter, and for SMS figures of a quarter for next quarter, and for internet figures of last quarter of a financial year, figures of what, sir? Last quarter of a financial year will be used for calculating number of subscribers for succeeding financial year. Succeeding financial year, sir. Such a great point. And last line is same, where such figures relate to telecom circle comprising of more than one state or UT. Then the figures for that state or UT shall be calculated in the ratio of population as per latest census. So if you get the figures of more than one state, then obviously we'll apportion on the basis of population. No doubt in that. That's all, my dear friends. These are all the interesting points what we have got in Rule 3 of IGST rules, which is being given by section 12.14. Extremely wonderful and important, and I have spent so much time because two reasons. Number one, this has not come in exam so far, except for the television point. So what if it comes now? Number two, something which is very sensible, where advertisement can be done through different ways nowadays because of technological advancement and because of the so many options available for advertisement. So it's important for us to know what is the basis for apportionment in different types of advertisements. That's it. That is the end of story for Rule 3 and the end of story for section 12.14. That's all. And in fact, that's the end of story for section 12, place of supply related to services, where the location of supplier and the location of recipient both are in India. That's it. We will stop here. Balance will take forward in next session. And next session, next class, next lecture, we'll talk about section 13, place of supply for services, where the location of supplier or location of recipient, one of them is outside India. One of them is where, sir? Outside India. That also we'll talk in the next class. Clear? Thank you so very much. Take care. Balance will take forward in next session. Bye-bye. Thank you.